Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something different, something epic. We're talking about the top 10 family-friendly hikes in the USA. We're not just talking about any hikes. These are the ones that'll make you want to ditch the screens, grab your backpacks, and reconnect with nature. Trust me, these trails are the real deal. Whether you're an experienced hiker or just starting out, there's a trail out there for everyone in the family to enjoy. We're talking breathtaking views, stunning waterfalls, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So lace up those hiking boots, grab your water bottles, and get ready for an adventure. Let's hit the trail. First up, we're heading to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a place that feels like it's straight out of a postcard. We're talking misty mountains, lush forests, and waterfalls that'll take your breath away. And the best part? It's incredibly family-friendly. We're checking out the Laurel Falls Trail, a 2.6-mile round trip that's perfect for all ages, even those little adventurers with tiny legs. The trail itself is super well maintained, so you can actually enjoy the scenery instead of worrying about tripping over roots and rocks. And speaking of scenery, get ready for some serious eye candy. You'll be surrounded by towering trees, the sound of rushing water, and if you're lucky, you might even spot some wildlife along the way. Keep your eyes peeled for black bears, deer, and maybe even a wild turkey or two. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, Laurel Falls. This 80-foot beauty is seriously impressive. The water cascades down moss-covered rocks, creating a mist that feels amazing on your skin. It's the kind of place where you just want to sit back, take a deep breath of that fresh mountain air, and soak it all in. Trust me, this waterfall is totally Instagram-worthy. But the awesomeness doesn't stop there. The trail is named after the mountain laurel, a stunning flower that blooms along the trail in the spring and early summer. Imagine hiking through a sea of pink and white blossoms, pure magic. Laurel Falls is one of the most popular spots in the park, and for good reason. It's a must-see for any family looking for an unforgettable hiking experience. Next up, we're heading west to California, to one of the most iconic national parks on the planet, Yosemite. This place is a hiker's paradise with towering granite cliffs, giant sequoia trees, and views that'll make you feel like you're on another planet. But don't worry, you don't have to be a hardcore climber to experience the magic of Yosemite. The Mirror Lake Trail is a 2-mile loop that's perfect for families with kids of all ages. It's relatively flat and easygoing, so you can actually enjoy the scenery without breaking a sweat. And speaking of scenery, get ready to be blown away. This trail offers some of the most iconic views in Yosemite, including Half Dome, reflected perfectly in the crystal clear waters of Mirror Lake. Seriously, it's like something out of a dream. You'll be surrounded by towering granite walls, the sound of rushing water, and the fresh scent of pine trees. Now let's talk about Mirror Lake. This place is truly special. It's one of the few places in Yosemite where you can see Half Dome perfectly reflected in the water, creating a mirror image that's absolutely breathtaking. And the best time to experience it? Early morning or late afternoon when the light is just right and the reflections are at their most vibrant. Trust me, it's a sight you won't soon forget. But here's the thing about Mirror Lake. It's actually a seasonal pool. By late summer, it often dries up and turns into a meadow. So if you're planning a trip to Yosemite, make sure to time it right to catch this natural wonder in all its glory. Whether you're hiking with little ones or just looking for a scenic stroll, the Mirror Lake Trail is an absolute must-do in Yosemite. It's the kind of place that'll stay with you long after you've left the park. Alright guys, we're headed north, way north, to a place that screams Adventure Acadia National Park in Maine. This place is different. Wild, rugged coastline, crashing waves. You can practically smell the salt in the air. We're tackling the Ocean Path Trail, a 4-miler that hugs the edge of Mount Desert Island. Imagine this, you've got the deep blue Atlantic on one side, just vastness as far as the eye can see, and on the other, these towering evergreens, like they're standing guard over the sea. Now this isn't some walk in the park, though it's called Ocean Path. This trail's got teeth, some rocky sections, a little elevation. But hey, that's what makes it an adventure, right? Plus the payoff is worth every step. You're gonna see tide pools teeming with life, little crabs scuttling around, maybe even a starfish if you're lucky. And the ocean views? forget about it. It's like the world just opens up in front of you. Now listen up, because you do not want to miss this. There's this spot on the trail called Thunder Hole, and it's like something straight out of a nature documentary. It's this chasm in the rocks, see? And when the waves come crashing in, boom! It's like the ocean's letting out this primal roar. You can feel it in your chest. People actually plan their whole hike around the tides just to see this. They line up, cameras ready, and when that wave hits, it's like the whole world explodes for a second. This, my friends, is why we hike. Raw, untamed beauty, the kind that makes you realize how small you are in the grand scheme of things. And Acadia delivers. Okay, from the rugged coast we're switching gears completely. Picture this, towering sandstone cliffs, a ribbon of emerald green river cutting through the desert, a sky so blue it almost hurts to look at it. This, my friends, is Zion National Park. We're talking about a different kind of beauty here, a raw, almost prehistoric landscape that just takes your breath away. And the hike we're doing, the Riverside Walk, well, it's the perfect introduction to this majestic place. Now, this is a family-friendly hike, 2.2 miles out and back paved the whole way, so you can bring the kids, even grandma, if she's up for it. But don't let that fool you. This trail is all about the views. You're walking alongside the Virgin River, the water crystal clear reflecting the cliffs above. The air is crisp, clean, you can practically taste the adventure. Now, the Riverside Walk is cool and all, but here's the real kicker. It takes you to the entrance of the Zion Narrows, and trust me, this is where things get really interesting. The Narrows are slot canyons carved out by the Virgin River over millions of years. We're talking walls thousands of feet high, so close together you can practically touch them. Hiking the Narrows is a whole other adventure, one you often need a permit for. The sound of the river echoing all around you. It's humbling, awe-inspiring. Zion's Riverside Walk has got you covered. Alright guys, buckle up because we're headed to the heart of the Rockies, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. This place is all about those epic mountain views, crisp alpine air, and feeling on top of the world, literally. And the hike we're taking on? The Bear Lake Loop. Don't let the name fool you, this isn't about bears, though you might spot one if you're lucky. It's about this pristine alpine lake, nestled right at the base of some of the park's most iconic peaks. Now this is a short one, only 0.8 miles around the lake, but it's a visual feast every step of the way. We're talking towering pines reflected in the water, wildflowers dotting the meadows, and those mountains, man, those mountains are just something else. It's like someone took a paintbrush and created the most perfect mountain vista you could imagine. And the best part? This hike is accessible to just about everyone. You've got families with little kids, couples out for a romantic stroll, even serious hikers taking a break from summiting those 14ers. That's the beauty of Bear Lake, it's got something for everyone. Now, even though it's a short hike, don't underestimate the altitude. We're talking over 9,000 feet here, so take it slow, drink plenty of water, and listen to your body. Trust me, the views are worth it. And if you're feeling adventurous, there are tons of other trails branching off from Bear Lake. You can hike to Emerald Lake, another stunner, or challenge yourself with a climb up to Dream Lake. But even if you just stick to the loop, you're in for a treat. This is Rocky Mountain National Park at its finest, and it's an experience you won't soon forget. Picture this, you're walking through a forest straight out of a Tolkien novel, giant trees draped in moss, sunlight filtering through the canopy, and this silence that's almost deafening. That's the Hoh Rainforest for you. Located in Olympic National Park, Washington, it's like stepping into a different world. And the best part? You don't have to be a hardcore hiker to experience it. The Hall of Mosses Trail, a 1-mile loop, is perfect for families. It's like a leisurely stroll through a fairy tale with ancient moss-covered trees. The Hoh Rainforest is known for its silence, but if you listen closely, you'll hear it. The creaking of old trees, the chirping of birds, and your footsteps on the mossy ground. It's a symphony of nature. The biodiversity here is insane. From banana slugs to Roosevelt elk, there's something new around every bend. Keep your eyes peeled, take your time, breathe the fresh air, and let the peace of the forest wash over you. This hike will stay with you long after you've left. And hey, you might catch a glimpse of Sasquatch. Keep your camera ready. You might capture footage that breaks the internet. Alright guys, let's talk waterfalls. Specifically Dark Hollow Falls in Shenandoah National Park, Virginia. This is one of those hikes that's got it all stunning scenery, a challenging but rewarding trail, and of course, a waterfall that'll take your breath away. Now this ain't no walk in the park, alright? The Dark Hollow Falls Trail is a 1.4-mile round trip, and it's got a decent incline. But trust me, it's worth every step. The trail winds its way through lush forest, past towering trees and over babbling brooks. And then you round a bend and boom, there it is. Dark Hollow Falls cascading 70 feet down a moss-covered rock face. It's like something out of a movie, seriously. The sound of the water crashing down is deafening and the mist feels amazing on your face. Now here's a little history lesson for you. The Dark Hollow Falls Trail is one of the oldest trails in Shenandoah National Park, dating back to the 1930s when the Civilian Conservation Corps built it. So, you're not just hiking through nature, you're hiking through history. Once you've soaked in the view, taken a million pictures, it's time to head back up. And yeah, it's uphill, but remember that feeling of accomplishment you'll have when you reach the top? Alright guys, get ready for some serious mountain views because we're headed to Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming. Epic landscapes, jagged peaks, and a sense of awe. Experience the grandeur on the Taggart Lake Trail. A 3-mile loop, perfect for families up for a challenge. Moderate trail, unforgettable views, towering pine trees, wildflowers, and rushing water. Then, Taggart Lake, reflecting the majestic Teton Range. Like something out of a postcard. Now, the Taggart Lake Trail is a photographer's dream. Every turn offers a new and breathtaking view of the Tetons, so make sure your camera battery is charged and your memory card is empty. You'll want to capture it all, the rugged peaks, the alpine meadows, the reflections of the mountains in the lake, and if you're lucky, you might even spot some wildlife along the way like deer, elk, or even a black bear. Just remember to be respectful of the wildlife, keep your distance, and definitely don't try to take a selfie with a bear. Trust me, it's not going to end well. But seriously, the Taggart Lake Trail is one of those hikes that will stay with you long after you've left the Tetons. It's a reminder that nature is pretty darn amazing and that sometimes the best things in life are the ones you have to work a little for. Alright, we're heading to a place that feels straight out of Star Wars Bryce Canyon National Park. Imagine thousands of towering red rock spires called hoodoos just erupting from the earth. It's like nothing you've ever seen. We're tackling the Navajo Loop Trail, a 1.3-mile loop. Man, the scenery will blow your mind. Keep your eyes peeled for Thor's hammer. It really does look like it's about to drop the hammer on the canyon floor. Now here's a fun fact. Bryce Canyon isn't actually a canyon, I know, right? Mind blown. It's a series of natural amphitheaters carved into the edge of a high plateau. The Paiute people, who have called this area home for centuries, have a different name for it. Ankakuwasa Wits. It translates to red rocks standing like men in a bowl-shaped canyon. I mean, that's just poetry right there. And the views? Don't even get me started on the views. You can see for miles in every direction. And the way the sunlight hits the hoodoos throughout the day, constantly changing the colors, it's just magical. So pack your sense of adventure, your hiking boots, and get ready for an experience unlike any other. Bryce Canyon is calling, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. We're heading to the heart of the Black Hills in South Dakota, a place that's often overlooked, but trust me, it shouldn't be. Custer State Park is a hidden gem, and we're about to explore one of its most scenic spots, Sylvan Lake. Now this place has it all: towering granite peaks, lush forests, crystal clear lakes, and wildlife encounters that'll make you feel like you're in a nature documentary. We're going to take the Sylvan Lake Shore Trail, a chill 1-mile loop that winds around the lake, offering some of the most picturesque views in the park. This trail is perfect for everyone, from seasoned hikers to families with little ones. It's an easy stroll, but the scenery is anything but boring. Fun fact time. Remember that scene in National Treasure Book of Secrets where they find the final clue? Yeah, that was filmed right here at Sylvan Lake. Pretty cool, right? But even without the Hollywood connection, this place is special. The lake itself is a beauty, reflecting the surrounding granite peaks like a giant natural mirror. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can rent a kayak or a paddleboard and explore the lake from the water. Trust me, the views are even more breathtaking from out there. So pack your hiking boots, your swimsuit, and your sense of adventure, because Custer State Park is calling, and it's ready to blow you away. And there you have it, folks, our top 10 family-friendly hikes in the USA. From cascading waterfalls to towering red rock spires, these trails offer something for everyone. We've explored lush forests, stood in awe of glacial lakes, and walked in the footsteps of giants. But most importantly, we've experienced the power of nature to inspire, to challenge, and to bring us together. So what are you waiting for? Grab your family, lace up those hiking boots, and hit the trail. There's a whole world of adventure out there waiting to be discovered. Thanks for joining us on this virtual tour, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting facts and travel guides. See you on the next hike.